Tubigumire Chakula. The fuck, nigga. Feel very angry. MTN's internet is fake. Serumaga construction. Hassan. Michael Divine. Okay, I think I have to begin. I have to begin. Zax Media. I have to begin. I hope I'm not. My face. I didn't put anything on my face. I hope I'm not so bad looking. Anyway, my internet is very unstable. It's not giving me that conducive environment, but nothing to do is to go with the internet that I have. My internet is very unstable, please. So if you see me going off, just know internet is very Ronald expert wearing garage. Oh god. James Nakagolo Sharon Sanyu. Okay. I have to focus now. Focus. Getting the information. Only 14% agreed, 6% had no opinion, and the balance, 80% disagreed. That's why millionaires spend a large amount of their resources on their children's educations. What was the most frequently mentioned gift that millionaires received from their parents' tuition? All other economic gifts are mentioned by a significantly smaller proportion of millionaires. About 1 in 3 received some financial support in purchasing his first home. About 1 in 5 received an interest-free loan during his lifetime. Only 1 in 35 ever received funds from his parents for mortgage payments. What can you give your children to enhance the probability that they will become economically productive adults? In addition to an education, create an environment that honors independent thoughts and deeds, cherishes individual achievements, and rewards responsibility and leadership. Yes, the best things in life are often free. Teach your children to live on their own. It's much less costly financially, and in the long run, it is in the best interests of both the children and their parents. There are countless examples of the inverse relationship between economic productivity and the presence of substantial economic gifts. Our own data collected over the past 20 years repeatedly support this conclusion. Independent of college tuition, more than 2/3 of American millionaires received no economic gifts from their parents, and this includes most of those whose parents were affluent. Weakening the weak. So what are affluent parents to do with their wealth? How and when should they distribute it among their children? We will detail the distribution of wealth in the next chapter. But at this point, here is some food for thought. Most affluent people have at least 2 children, typically the most economically productive ones. The smaller share of his or her parents' wealth, while the least productive receives the lion's share of both economic outpatient care and inheritance. Consider for a moment that you are a typical affluent parent. You noted that your oldest son or daughter, even at an early age, was extremely independent, achievement-oriented, and well-disciplined. Your instinct is to nurture these traits by not trying to control his or her decisions. Instead, you spend more time helping your less resourceful child make decisions, or you actually make decisions for him. With what result? You strengthen the strong child and weaken the week. Suppose you have a 10-year-old child who goes in for a physical checkup. The examining physician tells you that your son or daughter is underweight and underdeveloped. How would you respond to this evaluation? Would you find ways to improve your child's physical health? Would you likely encourage your child to exercise, take vitamins? Would you find ways to improve your child's physical health? Would you likely encourage your child to exercise, take vitamins, lift weights, and perhaps play sports? Most parents would attack such a problem proactively. Wouldn't you find it odd if the parent took the opposite course? How would you respond if the parent encouraged his child to eat less and exercise less? All too often, this method of weakening the weak is applied to children who show personality related weakness. In one case we know about, parents were told that their son was deficient in writing and related verbal skills. How did the parents respond to this problem? First, they transferred their child to another school. The verbal deficiency problem failed to improve. However, so the father began writing his son's papers. He still writes his son's papers today. His son is a junior in college. In another case, an affluent couple had a 12-year-old daughter who was very shy and rarely spoke to anyone without some prompting. Concerned about her daughter, the mother wrote a note to her daughter's teacher asking that the child's seat be moved from the front to the back of the room since her daughter felt more comfortable there. The mother reported that the kids in front were too often asked questions by their teacher. The day the teacher received this request, she did not make any changes in the seating. The mother called the teacher that afternoon to protest. The teacher was unavailable, but she did return the call the next afternoon, feeling slighted. The mother immediately transferred her daughter to another school. In yet another case, a distinguished professor recently received a telephone call from his neighbor. The caller was irate. Caller, Doctor Dash, you are in this business. I need your advice. How can I go about getting a professor fired? You probably don't know this guy. He is at the state university. Professor, why do you want to have him fired? Caller, my daughter is failing his course. He says she lacks the background to do well in his class. He has long hair. He never wears a suit. He's a jerk. I have already spoken to his chairman. I'm getting the run around. I want this guy fired. Professor, well, why doesn't your daughter just withdraw from the class? Caller, then she will have to go to the summer school. Professor, there are a lot worse things than summer school. Caller, if she goes to summer school, she can't go to Europe with us. We have planned this trip for 2 years. Her mother won't go without her daughter. What can I do? What have all the parents done in these cases? They have contributed to weakening the weak. If your son has a deficiency in his verbal skills, make a commitment to overcome his handicap. In one case, a father recognized that his son had an extremely high aptitude in mathematics. Again. Why is it off again? Here it is on. If it gets off again, I'm going. If it gets off again, I'm going. Gets off again, I'm going. Gets off again, I'm going. If it gets off again, I'm going. 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 Gets up again, I'm going. Gets up again, I'm going. Gets up again, I'm going. If it gets up again, I'm going. It get If it gets off again, I'm going. 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 I think it's on. Gets off again, I'm going. During hundreds, I think I read that, dad tutored his son. He also hired a professional tutor for his son. This combination worked. Today, his son is a graduate of a top Ivy League school, the one with the highest entrance requirements. The product of economic outpatient care. What happens when weekend children become adults? They typically lack initiative. More often than not, they are economic underachievers but have a high propensity to spend. That's why, when they need economic subsidies to maintain the standard of living they enjoyed in their parents' home, we will say it again. The more dollars adult children receive, the fewer dollars they accumulate, while those who are given fewer dollars accumulate more. This is a statistically proven relationship, yet many parents still think that their wealth can automatically transform their children into economically productive adults. They are wrong. Discipline and initiative can be produced like automobiles or clothing off a rack. A recent case study will help illustrate our point. A wealthy couple was determined to give their children MS, BPF, every advantage. So when Miss BPF expressed some interest in starting a business, they responded in typical fashion. They created what they thought would be the ideal environment. First, they wanted her to be debt free, so they put up all their money for their daughter to start her business. Miss BPF put up nothing of her own. She never even applied for a commercial loan. Second, the parents felt a strong need to provide her with substantial economic outpatient care. They felt this would enhance their daughter's chance of succeeding among the ranks of America's entrepreneurs. MSBPS parents believed that their adult daughter would benefit from living at home. This was MSBPF could put all her energy and resources into her business. She would live with her parents rent free. She would not have to allocate any time to shopping for groceries, cleaning the house, or even making her bed. This ultimate form of subsidy subsidy where subsidy goes beyond economic outpatient care. Call it economic inpatient care. Is a rent-free environment ideal for a young entrepreneur? We don't think so, nor is the gift of a business. The most successful business owners are the ones who put much of their own resources behind their ventures. Many succeed because they have to succeed. It's their money, their product, their reputation. They have no safety net. They have no one else to rely upon for their success or failure. Third, the parents of MSBPF added yet another element to the equation. What if their daughter did not have to worry initially about generating profits from her venture? They believe that reducing this burden would enhance their daughter's probability for success. Miss BPF became yet another member of the subsidized cluster. Her parents gave her approximately 60,000 in cash and equivalents each year. What is the result of having created this ideal environment? Today, Miss BPF is in her late 30s. She still lives at home. She has no commercial related debts. Her folks financed her business and continue to do so. Let's say her business earned her nearly 50,000. Her parents continue to give her 60,000 every year. They still feel that Miss BPF will become truly independent sometime in the future. We are not as optimistic as her parents in this regard. Most successful entrepreneurs are not like Miss BPS. How many entrepreneurs who are still in the startup phase of their venture would do what Miss BPF has recently done in 1 year? One, purchased a 40,000 automobile without shopping or negotiating the price or conditions. Two, paid $50,000 for a watch. $2,000 for a suit, and $600 for a pair of shoes. Paid more than $20,000 for a clothing in general. Paid more than $7,000 for interest on credit card balances and revolving retail credit. Paid more than $10,000 for dues stroke fees at area country clubs. The answer is very few. Miss BPS business is not really a success. It is heavily subsidized directly and indirectly via other people's money. Actually, Mrs. BPS has been shortchanged by her parents. She may never know if she could make it on her own. The ideal conditions they provided for their daughter were an incentive for her to spend heavily on consumer goods, all the while she gave her business stepchild treatment. Who do you think has more fears and worries, Mrs. BPS or the typical unsubsidized affluent business owner? Logic might suggest that Miss BPF should have no worries at all, since she, since she receives intensive economic care from her parents. In fact, she has many more fears than do affluent men and women who receive no subsidies. Subsidize whatsoever. Typical affluent business owners have only three major concerns. See Table 3 to 4 in Chapter 3. All of these are related to the federal government. They fear policies and regulations that are unfavorable to business owners and the affluent population in general. What does Miss BPF fear? She told us that she had 12 major fears. How is it possible that a person who is almost completely insulated from financial risk has 4 times more fears than the typical affluent business owner? Because these affluent business owners have overcome most of their fears. They have inoculated themselves from many fears by becoming completely self-sufficient. And it was the very struggle to become economically self-sufficient that helped these business owners overcome them. What are some of Miss BPF's major fears and concerns? Remember, these are fears that are not paramount among the self-sustaining affluent population. Miss BPF has substantial fear of the following: her parents' estate being heavily taxed, two, experiencing a significant reduction in her standard of living, two, her business failing, three, not being wealthy enough to retire in comfort, 4. Being accused by her brothers and sisters of receiving more than her fair share of financial gifts and inheritance from their parents, who is more confident, more content, more able to deal with adversity. It's not the Miss BPFs of America, it's those who have been brought up by parents who rewarded independent thought and behavior. It's those who don't concern themselves with other people's money, who are not concerned about succeeding than about how much it is, than how much is in someone else's estate. Also, if one lives below one's means, no One doesn't have to be concerned with the possibility of being forced fake. Like somebody's asking me a question. You ask me a question? That's how they told you. You just come and ask questions without even greeting. I don't have answers, bro. I don't have answers. The world has answers. Mm. Uh, and people, sometimes I look at people and I wonder, man. Anyway, I think internet is good now. I finish. It's off. My internet is not working. 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 Internet is not working. Internet is not working. Pray, pray for the internet to work. Pray for the internet to work. Pray, pray for the internet to work. Pray, prayers. Prayers, prayers, pray for the internet to work. Is not working. Internet is not working. I think it's done. It's there, right? It's there, right? It's there, right? Ah. Every time I want to smile, I fear that people will see my. But anyway. Anyway, I think you have to continue and finish this. Continue and finish, continue and finish, continue and finish, continue and finish, continue and finish. But such shelters often produce adults who are in constant fear of tomorrow, the products of zero economic outpatient care. How valuable is your signature? It depends on how it is used. A signature helped Paul Affluent start the business that bears his nickname, Kinko's, with a 5,000 loan co-signed by his father in 1969. He rented a small garage. From there, he and a few friends sold about $2,000 worth of services daily. It seems like there are some problems with your life quality. My life quality it seems there are some problems with your life quality. Learn how to improve them. It's because of my internet. My internet is it's not good like the way I expected it to be. Kinko's adds internet services to I think to its coping business. The New York Times, March 1996. CP. It is admitted that Kinko's has annual sales in excess of $600 million. But what if Mr. Orfalea's parents had socialized their son in an environment similar to Mrs. BPF's? Would he be as productive today? It's very unlikely Mr. Orfalea has what all successful business owners possess: considerable courage. Taking financial risk is evidence of courage, but what risk has Miss BPF ever taken? Very little. Webster's define courage as mental or moral strength to resist opposition, danger, or hardship. Here is how Webster's defines courage: as mental or moral strength to resist opposition, danger, or hardship. It implies firmness of mind and will in the face of danger or extremely difficulty. Courage can be developed, but it cannot be nurtured in an environment that eliminates all risks, all difficulty, all dangers. That is precisely why Mrs. BPF lacks the courage to leave home, expand her business, and wean herself from heavy doses of economic inpatient care. It takes considerable courage to work in an environment in which one is compensated according to one's performance. Most affluent people have courage. What evidence supports this statement? Most affluent people in America are either business owners or employees who are paid on an incentive basis. Remember, whether their parents were wealthy or not, most of the affluent in America acquired their wealth on their own. They had the courage to undertake entrepreneurial and other business opportunities that were associated with considerable risk. One of the greatest entrepreneurs and extraordinary sales professionals of all time, Ray Kroc, looked for courage in selecting potential McDonald's franchise owners and executives. Kroc actually welcomed cold calling sales professionals. He told his secretary to send all of them in. Why? Because it's not easy finding people who have the courage to be evaluated strictly on their own performance. He sold his first franchise outside California for $950 to Sanford and Betty Agate C. John Love McDonald's behind the Arches Toronto Batam Books 1986 PPP 78 to 79 296 to 97. Kroc first encountered Betty Agate while she was making cold calls on people in Chicago's financial district. Kroc's secretary asked, "What the hell is a Jew doing selling Catholic Bibles? Making a living," was her reply. Kroc reasoned that anyone courageous enough to do what Betty Agate was doing would be a prime prospect for purchasing one of his franchise like franchises. No, franchise. Oh my god, it's franchise with a S. How many cold calls has Miss BPF made in her life? 0. Most of the people who buy from her are friends or business associates of her parents and relatives. Calls to those people who are warm calls. Parents often ask us how to instill courage in their children. We suggest that children be exposed to the sales profession. Encourage your children to run for class office in their elementary or high school. They will have to sell themselves to the student body. Even selling Girl Scout cookies can have a positive impact. Retail sales jobs provide another way for children to be evaluated by very objective third parties. A woman of great courage. Facts to William D. Danko, PhD, Abbey, New York, from Thomas J. Stanley, PhD, Atlanta, JA. A woman of great courage. Debt, Labor Day. Guess where your college was at 5:30 a.m. this morning? I was boarding an early flight. Although the plane had room for more than 100 passengers, only about 20 people were on board. Soon after I sat down, somebody's called developer. A developer. Like somebody came and asked me a question, like, you didn't even greet me. What happened to you? Sometimes, like, people ask you things and you have to just laugh at their negativity. Sometimes you laugh at their negativity and like you have to just laugh at their negativity. Don't bring negativity to me. Stay with your negativity, suffocate with your negativity. Don't bring your negativity to me. Suffocate with your negativity. Suffocate with your negativity. Don't bring your negativity to me. Suffocate with your suffocate with your negativity. Like, my internet is not good. The developer, Brighton, the developer. Wagwan Brighton. Brighton is an hobby of mine. I asked Laura why she was traveling at night. She replied that it was a lot more economical to do so. But I found out shortly thereafter was that this woman did not have to fly via a highly discounted ticket. She in fact was affluent, but she was also very frugal. What was the purpose of Laura's travel? She was en route to a conference of real estate executives where she was to receive the Real Estate Executives of the Year award. I then asked her how she first became involved in the real estate profession. Lara replied, out of necessity. Lara told me that one morning she found a note from her husband on the kitchen table. Allow me to quote the contents. Dear Laura, I am in love with my secretary. My attorney will fill you in on the details. Wish you and the children good luck. How did Laura, a housewife with 3 small children, respond to this information? She was determined not to return to her old job as a high school teacher, nor would she ever ask her well-to-do parents for economic support. She had grown up in an environment that nurtured independence and discipline. She wondered what she could do with undergraduate and master's degrees in English literature. She discovered that people with her educational background were in great supply and reasoned that her income from her teaching, editing, and writing jobs were not likely to be enough to support her family's current lifestyle. Thereupon, Laura discussed various employment opportunities with several enlightened business owners in the community. After these discussions, she decided to try the field of real estate sales. During her first 4 months, she earned more selling real estate than she did in her best year teaching English. I know you would want to ask Laura the factors she feels contributed to her success. She told me this: it's amazing what you can do when you set your mind to it. You will be surprised how many calls you can make when you have no alternative except to succeed. As a young woman, Laura had developed an excellent foundation for her sales career. While attending school, she had convinced dozens of employers to hire her for summer jobs. She also had a variety of part-time jobs while attending high school and college. Laura was so good at finding jobs that she helped many of her friends find employment. No doubt she could have had much success in starting an executive recruiting firm. Laura was also the campaign manager for several of her friends who won student government offices in both high school and college. It's ironic that Aura's misfortune in marrying a man who lacked integrity eventually translated into a much better life for her and her children. Because of his transgressions, Laura was able to fully utilize all her talents. The irony is that she always had more potential than her husband to excel in the business world. It's a proven fact. Today, she is much better off than her former husband. Her success is also a function of her high level of integrity, something that was lacking in her former husband. After several banner years as a sales professional, Laula founded a highly successful real estate company. In spite of her dramatic financial success, she still files. She still flies under red eyes and early birds. You would never think this woman had so much courage and stamina just by looking at her. It would estimate that she is barely 5 feet tall and weighs no more than 95 pounds. However, as we have often agreed, appearances are much less important than the courage, discipline, and resolve of people who are economically productive. Like somebody asked me a question without even greeting me. You expect me to answer you without even greeting me? You don't have manners? You ask me a question without greeting me, and you expect me to answer you without manners? I don't reply people who don't have manners. That's me. Anyway, I'm about to go. I am about to go. I am about to go. Affirmative action, family style. Their adult children are economically sufficient. Most affluent parents who have adult children want to reduce the size of their estate before they pass away. Certainly, this decision makes sense given that the alternative is to leave their children with a significant estate tax liability. The decision to share their wealth with their children is easy. The difficult decision is how to divide the capital. Affluent parents who have younger children usually believe that the distribution of their wealth will never be a problem. They assume their assets will be distributed equally. Oh God, I speak a lot of Luganda, and then whenever I'm here, I speak Luganda, but I'm speaking English. I don't know if you get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. Those parents with 4 children, for example, typically state that their wealth will be distributed equally among their children, 25% to each. This simple distribution formula becomes more complex as the children mature. Parents of adult children are likely to find that some of their children have a greater need for substantial financial gifts than others. Who should get more? Who should get less? These are all questions everyone must answer. Nonetheless, affluent parents are likely to benefit from several important research findings. Parents with non-working adult daughters and temporarily, I think I need to drink some water. Like when you talk for a long time without drinking water, your tongue becomes heavy. So my tongue is becoming heavy. For me, temporarily, unemployed adult sons have a high propensity to provide these children with heavy doses of economic outpatient care. These children are also likely to receive a disproportionately large portion of their parents' estates. The more economically successful offspring are likely to receive smaller levels of economic outpatient care and inheritance. Many of the most highly productive sons and daughters receive no wealth transfers whatsoever. Yet, as we have discussed in chapter 5, that's one reason they are wealthy. I think should I go right now? 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 I think I have to make 1 hour. I make 1 hour, then I go. I make 1 hour, then I go. Make 1 hour, then you 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 go. Make 1 hour, then I go. I make 1 hour, then I go. Make 1 hour, then you go. Make 1 hour, then I go. I make 1 hour, then I go. Housewives, A or B. Much of the variation in gift giving among different children can be explained by occupation or socio-economic status and gender. We have found that housewives have the highest propensity of all major occupational groups to receive inheritances as well as periodic financial gifts from their parents. See tables 6 to 1 and 6 to 2. In fact, housewives are 3 times more likely to receive substantial inheritances from their parents than adult children of the affluent on average. In essence, housewives rank first in both the size of their inheritances and the incidence of inheriting wealth from their parents. They are also most likely to receive significant financial gifts on an annual basis. We have identified 2 different types of housewives. Daughters of the affluent, we will call them type A and type B. Both benefit to different degrees from their parents' beliefs that non-working women must have money of their own, that the economic desk is stacked against women, and that sons-in-law can never be fully trusted to provide support for their for their wives and children. Type A housewife differs significantly from type B counterpart. Type Typers tend to marry high income producing successful men. They tend to take leadership roles in caring for their elderly, sometimes disabled parents. The gifts and inheritance they tend to receive are in part compensation for these efforts their working brothers and sisters are more likely to shy away from. Type A housewives are well educated and tend to be the executrices or co-executors of their parents' estates. I am tired. They are likely to be leaders and volunteers in various local educational and charitable organizations. I think I'm done. I'm saying goodbye. See you when you see me. 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 I'm going to other platforms. I'm done with this one. So I am going right now. I am going right now. See you when you see me. See you when you see me. See you when you see me. Tomorrow we shall be together. We shall be together. The same time, the same time. Tomorrow we shall be together. We shall be together. Munnafo tulabyeko nnyo. Munnafo tulabyeko nnyo. Ti munnafo tulabyeko nnyo. Munnaffe tulabyeko nnyo. Munsiibule ngenda. Munsiibule ngenda. Timbalabyeko nnyo. Munnaffe tulabyeko nnyo. Munnaffe tulabyeko nnyo. Munnaffe tulabyeko nnyo. Mbalabyeko nnyo. I have to go. I have to go.